program manager for the Compass Group. And I've been recruiting for the Compass Group for about 7 years, and then prior to that, I was an operator with the brand underneath the Compass Group called Flick. So that's who I am, and you want to go ahead?
Sure. I'm Alicia McMath. Hello, everyone. I am the other campus programs manager for Compass Group. I've been with Compass going on 4 years, and I work with several of the different food service companies under the Compass Group umbrella. One of which we have the pleasure of working with is here with us today, and this is Levy Restaurants, and they'll introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Nori Bonavipura, and I am the Director of Recruiting for Levy. I've been with Levy 12 years, 10 and a half in operations, running buildings and heading up our concession department for the company. And about a year and a half ago, I
Just trying to get it to go over there.
Oh, swivel.
Yeah, swivel.
And about a year and a half ago, I took the Director of Recruiting spot. So really looking forward to talking to you today and seeing you tomorrow at the career fair.
Hi, my name is Charlie Chadrius. I'm the Director of Restaurant Services up at the Boston Convention Center. I'm a 04 graduate from here, so you guys got a lot nicer setup than when I had to take this class.
And I'm Shay Johnson. I'm Nori's recruiting coordinator at Levy. I've been there just over 9 months now. I kind of had an interesting path there as well, but you can hear more about it tomorrow. So like Nori said, we're at the career fair, so I'll talk your ear off if you come by and visit our booth.
Awesome.
Okay. So, how many people in the room have heard of the Compass Group, know about us, what we do?
Awesome.
The majority of the room. We have this great video we want to show you that really does a good job of showing everything we do. So we'll show you this first. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Well, maybe we're not.
Right-click and see if it opens it. Well, maybe you're not.
Something about an organization's policy. Maybe it's not.
Maybe we'll go first and you can get your computer ready.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You want to do that?
Well, it's not going to.
No, but
It works on my computer, but it might not on this.
All right,
because it's
why don't
on that
you
computer.
reenact the
Oh.
video?
This is going great, and we're being recorded.
So, what the video will show you is that Compass Group has been, it is a UK-based company, and it's been in the United States since the 90s. And since that time, we've acquired many companies that have made us the world's largest contract food service provider. We are in all 50 states. We actually have companies that run outside of the United States as well, but we focus on North America. If Scott clicks on that second slide, whenever he gets it up, we actually have about 20 different companies, but this shows you our story and our timeline. Basically, as you can see, we started out with canteen vending, which some of you know, that provide very healthy choices in vending machines and office coffee sales, and then from there we progressed and grew and acquired more companies over time. And as you can see on this list, each one has its own special, unique story. Levy came on board in 1999, and we've been rocking and rolling with one another ever since. We specialize in, we provide contract food service for higher education, K through 12, sports and entertainment and leisure, healthcare, senior living, very premier services, and then we also do, we have the world's largest procurement company, which is Food Buy. So if you look on there, you probably may not know all the different company names, and what has happened over time is once we acquired some of them, they actually moved into one of the sectors and lost their name, but became a part of a better sector, a better name.
There's also, did you mention support services?
I'm just going to let you do that.
Okay. So we have support services, which we picked up along the way, which really makes it cool because you could have Morrison inside of a hospital taking care of the food service. And then you have a company like Crothwell Healthcare that can actually go into a hospital and take care of every other function for the hospital outside of food service and outside of taking care of patients, like the environmental services, so all the housekeeping, all the facilities management, the clinical engineering, basically all of that can be taken care of. And as a matter of fact, Crothwell will be here tomorrow. They also, we have patient transport representatives that are going to be there, so they actually oversee the patient transportation within a hospital, transporting all the patients around. So, just some other opportunities there too with support services. Thanks. Any questions on any of those? Just stop us if you do.
And so you know how I said that we actually provide contract food services in many different arenas. With Compass Group, it's not what you want to do in food service, but what type of environment you want to do the food service in. So if you were to say, well, I know I want to be an assistant manager or be in front of the house manager, we would say, okay, do you want to work in a major corporation? Do you want to work for one of the sports and leisure entertainment centers or facilities? Do you want to work in a hospital or senior living or on a college campus with college students? We have them all broken down by where the service is provided, so that actually helps a lot.
Right. And I think that's a secret to our success is the sectorization, because you could have, a client that would like a particular brand. Say in a college, you might want to have Chartwell's or Bon Appetit, depending on the different food programs and how their philosophies match up with the client. So all of those brands, they stay true to themselves, and really a good secret to our success for growth.
So this just provides some financial information that we feel is always important. Last year we were about $17.1 billion company at the end of fiscal year 2014. As I mentioned before, we operated all 50 countries and 50 states also. Sixth largest employer per USA Today as of 2014, and of course ranked number 46 in Training magazine.
Pointing over to me. Okay, so so once again, this is just some statistics on the size of our company. Again, when you look at this and you see how many states we're in, how many accounts we have, you just kind of get the feeling for the different kinds of opportunities that we have out there. Certainly, if you come in and join our company, the sky's the limit because there's so many different opportunities out there. We have 200,000 associates, 20,000 different accounts. Really big, and we just continue to grow, which is great. Over to you.
So this is support services, as Scott mentioned. Basically, it gives all the fun facts about them. So just as we provide all those billions of meals per day, we actually clean over 760 million square feet daily. So if you think about that, that's a lot of square feet being cleaned, right? I'm sure you guys aren't even.
It's a lot of laundry.
It's a lot of laundry.
750 million pounds of laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just to show you that Compass Group is a very diverse company with a very diverse portfolio. And this has made a big difference in our world. We're now able to offer clients a complete package of services.
Once again, I was saying before why we're so successful. We have a great sales team. We acquire with a purpose. Obviously, when we're looking at different companies and if we're going to acquire them, we make sure, bless you, we make sure that we're going to learn about them, understand them before we actually acquire them. The sectorization piece, as I said before, is important because we have all different brands in each sector. We attract great people. We come to Johnson & Wales each year to hire people like yourselves.
And I'm not sure if any of you knew this, but we do have a covenant partnership with Johnson & Wales. It was signed back in 2003 when our still president and CEO, Gary Green, and Dr. Yenna of the university signed it. That covenant partnership actually provides an exclusive relationship that the other universities don't have with us. We do Compass Day events here on campus where we provide senior leadership panels, chef panels. The chefs go into chef labs. We do classroom presentations. One of our sectors only hires Johnson & Wales students for their manager and training program, which is SLIC. This covenant agreement has been so important to us because over the last 10 plus years, it has basically kind of allowed us to build bench strength with the best of the best, which are some of the Johnson & Wales students.
And this year, our Compass Day event was unfortunately canceled due to the weather.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys remember that full 2-3 weeks of bad weather where you guys just couldn't get out of the snow. We were dealing with that too.
Yeah, you guys missed class on some of those days, right? Yeah. That must have been, too bad.
So this, again, actually goes back to the Compass Day events and some different things that we do to make sure that students are involved. We always bring alumni back to the campus to make sure we show where they have been since graduating. The Street of Companies is kind of a career fair you'll notice tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will come by and see us. There will be the Compass Group booth, but there will also be several different companies, including Levy, all lined up to show you just how many sectors we actually have under one umbrella. We do virtual recruitment. We do diversity symposiums. Actually, Rob Padrasam, our diversity and inclusive officer, will be here next week. with the diversity group on campus, talking to them, kind of letting them know what Compass Group is doing to make sure that we remain diverse and inclusive when attracting, engaging, and hiring candidates. So we're always here. We never leave.
And here's some pictures of the Crawford Healthcare MITs that we've hired from Johnson Wales University in the past. How many sectors do we have now doing MITs? We just counted up yesterday. 11 different sectors doing manager and training programs. So lots of opportunities out there for folks like yourselves. Here's the Chartwells.
And that's higher ed, basically.
Yep, higher education.
This is Canteen.
Canteen.
We actually, first time, Canteen has a new initiative to attract and hire veterans. So at least 80% of this group were veterans, including our lovely baby that was on the way. She was a veteran also. So we had a lot of new talent brought aboard and a lot of great new initiatives in Compass Group with all the different sectors with their MIT programs.
And then this last slide shows some of the alumni, some of the titles that the Johnson Wales alumni have. And it goes as high as president. We have Scott Davis, Rick Russo from Flick, and there's plenty more out there.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to do Levy, and then we'll do questions? And
Oh, you got to stand by.
I'll give you.
Do I have to?
Yeah, you got to put it up.
All right.
Focus is on you.
All right. Oh, boy. Scott, where's the... Oh, here it is. Got it. You're killing me. It's in there.
Where's
Did I just pass it up? Oh, yeah.
It is right there.
There we go. All right, got that up a little faster than the video. So just a little bit of history on Levy as a company. We are, out of the $17 billion company that Compass is, Levy is responsible for about $1.3 billion of that 17. And Shay's going to talk about the map a little bit later, but we have restaurants rooted in Chicago. We're a family-based company, a restaurant company that started with, before Larry sold to Compass, Larry Levy, who was our founder and chairman, opened up a small deli with his brother in the city of Chicago, and they soon found out that it was going to go under, and they did what any other kids would do. They called their mom to help. And she came to help, and that revived that business, and that led to Levy Restaurants. It's a really cool story. And we'll have some videos at the booth for you guys to check out tomorrow. So with that, we have restaurants. We're rooted in restaurants, and we're the only sole owner-operator on Disney property that has restaurants at Walt Disney in Florida, which was a really big coup for Larry to foster that relationship with Walt Disney. And they are still there today. And then we have some restaurants in Chicago, but the heart of where our dollars come in is through sports and entertainment. So we do food and beverage in the sports and entertainment facilities across the country. And within each facility, we have a variety of great positions, entry-level positions for new grads, and then also an internship program and a manager and training program. So I'm going to have Shay talk a little bit about some of the opportunities.
Yeah, so like Nori said, obviously, I don't know if many of you are familiar with a lot of the icons on the map. Some of them are more famous, I guess, than others, but not only some sports and entertainment in the professional realm and convention centers, ski resort in California, but this year kind of really diving into colleges. I think we were at 8, 3 months ago, and now we're at 13 and growing. So if you've, never want to leave college, or you kind of want to be in a premier sports facility like Texas A&M, Ohio State, some of these really great schools with great atmospheres, that's kind of what we're getting into more this year. But yeah, like Nori said, there's a wealth of opportunity, wide range of positions available, and so, like I said before, I could talk your ear off all day about all of them, and so we're going to be at the fair tomorrow. It's a giant blue display. We're kind of hard to miss, so it's pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. But yeah, come talk to me, and we'll get the conversation started.
Yep.
Brand new. Charles.
So, like I said earlier, I'm a graduate. I graduated in '04. When I graduated, I went up to work at Gillette Stadium for a little under 7 years, and then I got a call from a recruiter to ask if I was interested in going down to Washington, D.C. for a job down there. So I took a position as the general manager of concessions down at Nationals Ballpark, which was completely different than running a football stadium. Football's 1 day a week. It's 6 days of setup, and then you execute. We're going down there was, you can go anywhere from a 3 to a 10-game homestand. So that was a whole different world. And it was really cool to work for a company that had all these other different accounts that you could go to. Where when I worked at the football stadium, they're a single-owned place. It's a self-op. So there was nobody else to call if you had help. Where if you come to a company like this, you get to travel in a lot of places. I've gone down to Churchill Downs and worked at a couple of Kentucky Derbies. Last year I got to go down to the Final Four at the Georgia Dome and then some other various trips. So it's a great company to work for. I really like it. And like Shay said, you can pretty much pick your spot in the country you want to go to. And we have an account there.
Yep. So we like to call ourselves the sexy side of sports. I mean, it truly is one of the coolest job in food and sports. As an example, if you want to go into banquet and catering, some of the things that you would be doing at one of our locations, say we were at, Jacksonville Jaguars, we feed the team there. We feed the Bulls and Blackhawks at United Center. So if you're on the banquet team, the catering team, that's what your job is, during the day. Yeah, so, and then backstage catering
The Grammys.
for concerts, if we don't allow them to bring in their own.
Yeah.
We'll do the backstage catering. But more importantly, each venue, and we have over, I think, 105 venues across the country, whether they're arenas, stadiums, convention centers, like Shay said. Each venue has opportunity at the entry level, for entry-level positions in each of them. And that could be catering manager, banquet manager, concession manager, suites manager, club manager. So there's, in any one of our buildings, we'll have, we may have restaurants running, full-service restaurant, a la carte restaurants, or buffet-style, we call them chef's table restaurants, during every event. So there's restaurant manager positions there. And then there's the suites, which is catering on a more individual scale, if you will, the sky boxes and things like that. And then we have our general catering, and then concessions, which is all the hot dogs and popcorn. And all really great opportunities. So I encourage you to please stop by our booth, learn a little bit more about us. We have been very successful. Charlie's one of our grads here from Providence, but we've hired several folks from the Denver campus and Charlotte and other campuses at Johnson & Wales, and we're always looking for new great folks to come in. So come and see us tomorrow.
So I have some questions for you all. How many of you are seniors? Awesome. Graduating May. How many of you already accepted an offer? Oh, wow. So now I get to find out what are your questions for us, because if you haven't accepted an offer, you absolutely want to be at that career fair tomorrow. You absolutely want to be picking our brains about manager and training opportunities, because it's the best, most successful way to join an organization that will provide structured training and help guarantee and mold you into the successful professional you want to be, right? And we have them for both front of the house and back of the house, for all of our companies, Levy included. So, what are your questions for us? Yes.
Food service manager graduate who's just about to finish school, looking to the position, so they might find themselves going into start. There will be some start positions that food service, they get paid for food service, might find themselves going into
Front of the house, back of the house?
back of the houses.
So back of the house, a lot of new grads start out in the sous chef role because it gives them the opportunity to further develop their culinary skills. We have had some new grads come into roles that kind of have a dual, and I'm just thinking of Chartwell's for an example. Their assistant manager roles, they like people that have strong culinary backgrounds but can also lead the front of the house. because they want you to know what's going on in the back and be able to articulate it in case a client has a question. What you have to know about us is that we're always interfacing with clients. So really important for us with front of the house managers is that you're able to communicate well on every level, right? Not just your coworkers, not just your colleagues, but also clients. A client can walk up to you at any time and ask you a question, and you should be able to answer it. So that's one example, but we have many different examples, like assistant manager, catering manager. She named like several.
Yeah.
Retail manager.
Retail manager. Oh, we do have a lot of retail accounts too. I think a lot of people just think we do strictly fresh made food, which we do. But we have retail, we have concessions, we have a lot of different areas and opportunities for you. Yep.
Yeah.
I was on a social and society trip in Florida on a spring break, and I went to the Miami Marlins and the Miami Heat. So like I actually got to take a tour of their facility, and I worked at the PGA golf tournament, the championship.
Uh-huh.
Were you guys there? 'Cause I thought
The PGA Championship. Where was it? Last year?
no, this past one, like 2 weeks ago.
N-
It was in Miami.
Yeah, no, so we have a contract with the PGA, but it's PGA of America, which does the PGA Championship. Yeah, no. So we do the PGA Championship, the Senior PGA, and the Ryder Cups for the next 7 years when they come to the States. And then Compass actually in the UK does the Ryder Cups in the UK. But that one, no, we don't do that, but we do the Marlins and Miami Heat. We do the full building in both. Yeah.
Because I got to go see the downstairs with the pool, and that was
No, that was at the Marlins. So that's actually a partner of ours that we do sort of a subcontractor agreement with. So they run that sort of club and pool area, and in the arena we partner with Hyde. And there's a Hyde in there, and we partner with Hyde at Staples Center as well. So we're not the experts in the nightclub scene, so we let the experts do that, and we'll subcontract a piece of that money, yeah. So
Did you have a question? How long does it take,
So the manager and training program varies across sectors. So I know Chartwell's, their MIT program is the longest, and it's 9 months long because it's on a university campus, so students are hired as soon as school starts, and it's completed as soon as school is about to get out for students. Most other sectors are 12 weeks long as far as the instructional piece of it and some of the hands-on, but it doesn't end there because they want to see you successful. What's Levy's?
So our internship program is about 10 weeks, and it can happen in the spring or fall, depending on how your semester goes. And our MIT, it varies depending on position and building that you're in.
And then for the internships, I'm sorry, I forgot to answer that question for you. So it really depends. So a lot of our interns work in our corporate office in Charlotte, but that's if they want to do more business type internships. Those really range, we really wrap those around the student school schedule. So if they're looking for a spring internship, then we work it around the spring term, and summer, then it's summer. For the ones that are out in the field or at the actual account, same situation. Usually about 6 to 8 weeks long, I've seen them go. And it just all depends on, again, what environment you want to work in, front of the house or back of the house for your internship.
And I will say for us, it's tailored to you and your schedule and position. So, and our internships are paid in the field.
All of it,
Yeah. But the only thing we don't pay for is housing.
yes.
So,
Or relocate.
yeah,
If
correct.
you decide you want to go to a specific city or state, you want to do the internship, we don't pay for that. And again, we don't pay for housing for the internship. But we pay you to work and learn.
speaking of pay, how much usually for those entry-level management, what are the salary increases?
I think it kind of depends on the city, state, and accounting sector. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of what ifs,
Yeah.
possibilities. So the only one I can really speak to would be the manager in training, since that is considered an entry-level opportunity also. Most of those range between 35 and 40,000. Okay. All the other positions kind of depend on the account and what their budget is to pay for those entry-level positions. Scott worked in operations. Can you tell her what it might have been for some of the sectors?
Yeah, I was going to say you're right on the money. Anywhere between like upper 30s, 40,000, somewhere around there, but it really depends on the unit and the location. But general ballpark around that upper 30s to 40,000. Thing is don't let that get you caught up because, like I said, there's so many opportunities, and if you do well, in time, you will definitely grow and you'll make more money. You just have to be patient for just a couple of years. And you could be making 10,000 more easily.
And we promote from within a lot. Most of our positions, we look internally before we look externally. So once you get in the door, if you do a great job, the sky's the limit. And I mean, with all the different sectors, we are now also talking more amongst the sectors to transfer people from one sector to another. It no longer matters as much that you only have university food service experience. So if you have university food service experience, now Levy's on campuses. So you no longer have to stay with Chartwell's or Bon Appetit. You may be able to transfer over to Levy, so keep that in mind. Nori, what are your salary ranges for your job?
It's right around that same upper 30s, 40, low 40s, depending on, the position. Certainly a entry level, say, banquet manager may be on the higher end of that tier in Staples Center because it's California. It's a different market. It's a different labor market than if you were in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You might have covered this when I stepped down, but could you tell me, do you know what we're prospecting for recruiting for this year coming up for Compass and Bell?
For new grads? So our target goal is 600 overall. We're already at almost 400. Our fiscal year, we don't run on a regular calendar, so we'll be done recruiting for this fiscal year, September 31st. So the way it looks, we're going to exceed that number because we've had so many great opportunities, and like Scott said in the beginning, we've had several additional sectors sign on to now hire MITs. Last year we had 4 sectors that had MITs. This year we have 11.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the business really sees the need to build bench strength, and what that means is kind of have a pipeline of new diverse talent coming through the door, and also a need to provide structured, supported training for entry-level graduates to become great professionals in our organization. What's your goal?
And well, I mean, we are always looking for new grads to come into the company, and we are. I don't know. Are we a part of your number? Not the goal. Your goal. No. So for Levy, I'd like to try to get at least 50 in this year, and we're working on it. I forget where we are at the last time I checked, but at any given time, we are looking for 10 to 30 entry-level managers, if you would look at our job board, right? And we are, just these past couple of days, we're bidding on new things. We were at an Atlanta Braves RFP trying to get the Braves location. And, going into this year, getting the pipeline filled because we're going to be opening up the Atlanta Falcons Stadium next year down in Atlanta. And we'll certainly have folks that are at the Georgia Dome currently move over, but, we're always looking for new grads for those entry-level opportunities. And I would say one thing, if I would give you a piece of advice that's most important, I would say keep your options open, because then you won't limit yourself. So if you are willing to move anywhere, we no doubt could find you an opportunity. I think, I've moved probably six or seven different times to get where I am and to where I want to be. And just keep that in mind. I know it's scary and would sometimes seem very difficult to move away from home, out of your comfort zone. But my best advice is keep your options open to every opportunity, because, like when I go to JWU in Miami, they say, well, we want to stay in South Florida. Well, I only have 2 locations there in South Florida, right? Because even Orlando's too far for them. But we have opportunities in Orlando and Jacksonville. So, then I'm limited. We only have so many positions in each location. So I would say definitely keep your options open and take some chances.
Yes.
I was just wondering what you're looking for in regards to the office.
Well, with you guys, it's a little different, right? So what I look for on resumes is leadership experience. So if you've been a part of any organizations on campus, make sure you highlight that. If you've had a class with Professor Newman, you know that you were the person that was in charge of menu creation, development, running the staff, scheduling. You mentioned that, and you mentioned him by name because we know him, right? In addition to that, if you've done any internships, you want to highlight those. You also want to highlight any experience you have, whether it's in your industry that you're looking to find a position in or not. Because the most important thing is that you've been able to juggle school and work. And it's not for everyone, and not everyone successfully does it, but if you have, highlight it. Highlight everything that you've done, especially any leadership roles that you've been in.
Another great thing to do is if there's any accounts in the nearby area, whether it be healthcare, business dining, and you just want to go do a shadow day or call up the director there and see if you could come over and see what they do. That's great to share with us at the booth when we're interviewing you, that you've actually taken the time out of your day to actually go see an operation and can you tell me that kind of thing. That really means a lot.
So, you mentioned that there was a location that we wanted to go see how your operations work in that way. Well, what are some other would have here?
Well, I know CVS is nearby. I know Roger Williams University is nearby, and I know that we have a number, I just don't know the names off the top of my head, but I know that there's hospitals, even in Connecticut, that are nearby.
And
Fidelity,
Yeah.
UMass, we have certain BB accounts.
yeah, if you jump on the train and go to Boston, BCEC and Heinz, Charlie's there, and I'm sure he'd be happy to set you guys up to come down and check some things out there.
And that's how the Bank of America account is here also.
Number more,
Go ahead.
number of Morrison and Quick accounts too up in Boston.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hospital.
Huh?
Hospitals right now.
As far as they do their, I think it's
Self-house.
like,
Yeah.
self-house.
I think it's so. I think someone asked me that last time I was
We
here.
need to get in there.
Oh, she named our enemy number one. They have the other people over there. So that's not us, unfortunately, but we'll probably bid on that knowing it's down the street now.
But the Bank of America building is
Really close.
down the street with
Yes. Yes. No, so that number that I gave you, 600, that includes all the sectors, excluding legal. Only because, legal special, but.
We
Yeah,
do
so
what we
that
want.
encompasses all the sectors. So they're about 20 or so under the Compass Group umbrella, and they all have new grad commitments, and that number as a whole reflects all of them.
So busy, huh? What's the sector I was all impressed with when I was down there a couple of years ago?
Canteen.
Fancy.
Yeah, if you
Vending.
get a chance to see our C-stores. It was like the opening debut of them all. They're
Yeah.
doing very well
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
Your friend
Avenue
did an
C, yeah.
idea, I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a really good job on the blog about it too. Yeah. I remember that.
Any other
That's great.
questions, guys? Before we get
Yeah.
there?
Do you normally attend the fall career fair also?
Yes, in October.
Is that another time that
Mm-hmm.
the study of fall?
Yep.
Yep, and we actually, we attend the fall career fair. We usually have a huge Compass Day event, actually the largest of all four Johnson & Wales campuses. But again, due to the weather, we didn't have it. And then we come back again this week, and we come back again right before school ends, and then again over the summer.
And I'm
We
here
pretty
for
much
the
live here.
retail.
Yeah, Scott's here
as
for the
well.
retail career fair, so we live here.
Get to know us.
Yeah.
Your table will be one of the biggest attendance tables.
Aisle.
It always is.
They have seven. They have seven.
Well, they have
Yeah.
a block.
We have a row.
Oh,
We call it Avenue.
Yeah.
And this year, Levy has this humongous display that you can't miss unless you actually don't want to see it. So if you pretend you don't see us, we're going to remember your face and then we'll run after
Right.
you.
There's a camera that shows everybody that walks by.
That's Carlos
Not
Whipple.
kidding.
Thank you
Yep.
guys for the
Thank
great
you.
questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.